I think freshman year of high school, it was just like guys started noticing me. I started getting just the wrong attention, and I started falling in with the wrong people, which months of that gradually led to me just getting to a really low point in my life. I attempted suicide, and that was the first time I'd really like just hit the lowest point in my life.
Cool. Maddie, thanks for coming in and talking with us a bit. Hey, tell me a little bit about how you ended up coming to Heartlight.
So it kind of started out at home. I was failing all my classes. I was hanging out with the wrong people.
Wow.
I was drinking a lot more than I should have been. And I was kind of like, I think if I wouldn't have come to Heartlight, I probably would have been dead in about 2 months. And
Well, let's back up. You're flunking out of everything at school.
oh yeah, like I didn't even care anymore.
Why? What was going on that was kind of causing you to just go, okay, I quit?
I kind of just gave up. I was at a point where I was like, okay, my parents have these expectations that are unrealistic for me. My life is falling apart. All my friends are betraying me. I felt like I really didn't have anyone in the world. I was putting my identity in everyone around me, and I basically just kind of gave up on everything.
Okay, but you were going to a Christian school, weren't you?
Yeah, Christian school.
Yeah, did that make it worse or did it make it better?
It's a private Christian school,
Yeah.
so a lot of people don't really realize. I think parents too, like, it doesn't matter if it's a Christian school. It's still a school full of teenagers.
Yeah.
We're all teenagers. We do make bad decisions, and so it doesn't change the fact that it's Christian. It was still terrible, and the kids like drinking, smoking, just crazy all the time, and it's easy to fall into that crowd.
Okay, so you kind of fell into that. I mean, was it just the attempt to try to find somebody to hang with, to find somebody to engage with? Were you lonely? Did you feel like you were?
I think for me, I didn't know where my identity was. I didn't know what I wanted, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to start drinking. I'm going to see where that gets me. And then, like, trying to fit in led to me drinking, like, every day, because I realized, oh, whenever I drink and get really drunk, I forget everything. It takes my mind off of my family life. It takes my mind off of how awful my life is going right now.
Wow. And when did you start seeing that your life was going bad? When you go, okay, something's not right. Was it a slow kind of slide into the mess, or was it just one day you woke up and said, okay, I'm done?
I think it was gradual. Like, junior high was already rough, but I think freshman year of high school, it was just like guys started noticing me. I started getting just the wrong attention, and I started falling in with the wrong people, which my parents wanted one thing, but I chose to do like a different path. I didn't want to do what they said. I wanted to do my own thing, and I think just months of that gradually led to me just getting to a really low point in my life. And the first time, like, this was freshman year, I attempted suicide, and that was the first time I'd really like just hit the lowest point in my life. Like, just everything was just crashing down. My friends hated me. My ex, we had just broken up, and I was manipulating everyone. I was lying, and so like it was just, my stories were all messed up, and like just everything had just fallen apart.
Wow. So your mom and dad at that point, how was your relationship with them?
Oh, it was awful. We didn't get along at all. Like, just arguing, yelling. I would just leave. I would make up lies of where I was just so I didn't have to be around them. Like, we didn't get along whatsoever. Okay,
and so then they go, okay, we're not. It's not working at home. We got to do something different. You're going to Heartlight. How was that taken?
Well, so we had Christmas break, and they did not tell me. I kept asking, like, what's the plan? Am I going back to school? And they told me that morning, because I think if they would have told me over break, I would have figured out a way to run and not go. But they told me the morning before I got on a plane, like 4 hours in advance of getting on a plane, and they're like, hey, you're going to this boarding school. And I was like, what? A boarding school? And like they said, it's called Heartlight in Texas. I'd never heard of this before or anything.
Yeah.
And I was so mad. I was like, you can't send me away. This is my home. This is where I live. My friends, everyone around me, this is where I belong. And they're like, no, you're going to this boarding school. And so I got on a plane. I stayed in Dallas for a little bit, and they sent me here.
Yeah. Okay, so your first 3 months at Heartlight was a mess. You ended up on a train, and you left one night from Heartlight. What was that about?
Well, okay, so the first 3 months I was here, I did not want to be here. I was mad at my parents, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get out of here and go somewhere and just live on my own. I thought I could live on my own at 16.
Yeah.
And so my first 3 months here, I just was mad at everyone. I didn't want anyone to help me. I didn't want anyone to get into my life and know any of my junk or anything. And so I messed around a lot here, and then just one night we ran and we got on the freight train.
And how far did you go?
We got all the way to Arkansas.
I mean, that's like 100 miles away. You jumped off. Somebody brings you back.
We were in the worst part of Texarkana.
Yeah. Okay, so you come back. I mean, but so what switched? What changed? Where did that switch get turned that you finally said, okay, I need something different or want something different?
I think I realized after, this is the 5th time being on restriction, I just drinking a bunch of Lysol, just making stupid decisions, and I realized, what am I doing? Where am I going in life? I remember this day so clearly. I was just sitting outside by the school weeding, and we were just sitting out there, I was sitting out with my staff, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm a mess in life right now. I'm falling apart. I don't know who I want to be. I don't know anything about myself. I can't do this anymore. I need help. And so she's like, okay, well, you got to work on turning on your help switch. And I was like, okay. So I was like, hey, do you think you could help me out? And that was the first time I'd really asked for help from someone. And so
when did your parents start to see the difference?
I think a week after that, we had our first good conversation on our phone call, where I wasn't screaming at them. I didn't end up crying and throwing a huge fit. It was the first time I was like, hey, how are you guys? I miss home a little. That was when I started, it's like I kind of miss home. I miss my family. And so I started talking to them again. And
this was how far into Heartlight?
This was at my 3.5 months, I think.
Yeah. So things started to change. So what changes do you see in yourself?
Right now, I feel a lot more confident. I'm not the same, I don't need to wear a bunch of makeup. I don't need to, impress everyone. I feel like I'm starting to discover, my identity and who I want to be. And I actually want to go to college and get a job. And I really want to have a life. And I think that I've become a lot more aware, self-aware, for myself, and aware, emotionally aware. And I think my relationship with my parents has also gotten a lot better. I'm able to talk to them more, relate with them more, and understand where they're coming from. Okay,
so you're going to be going home sometime soon. What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge when you go back home?
Just remembering, I'm still under their roof, and, what they're doing, their decisions they're doing, it's what's best for me. And they love me, even if it's strict and hard. They're just doing what's best for me, and they love me a lot.
Yeah, you think they love you? A lot? I mean, do you know that at your core? Do you love them?
6 months ago, no. But now I really do love them.
Okay, so if there's parents out there watching this and listening to this, and they have a child that is just like you were, what could you tell them that they could be doing to help somebody like you were?
I would say they would just need to learn how to listen to their kid and, just understand where they're coming from, and remembering what it was like to be in high school, and how, if they had their parents, tell them something or tell them what to do and be strict with them, how it felt, and how sometimes, in high school, you need your parents to understand you, need to listen to you and give you the advice you need, but not restrict you from everything. And you also need to figure things out on your own. For me, I know that I need to figure things out on my own. I can't be restricted. I mean, I have to have some level of rules,
sure.
I've got to figure out life on my own, or I'm just going to be this shelter, literally under a rock, and I'm going to get out in the real world and realize I don't know how to do anything.
Wow. Well, you've done well. You've done really well. I mean, from jumping on a train to now talking about graduating from Heartlight and going back home and making it. I mean, it's truly been a miracle with you, and you've done a great job, and we're so proud of you.
Oh, thanks.
Cool.